between these words, image, right? We need to understand this so that you know how to carry yourself. We so much allow things of this world to define us. Right? The car we drive. That's the question in traffic in Lagos. What are you driving? And the man said, car. Car. Those days, if you're driving a rickety car, and one guy is coming with a very one, say, please don't use your bone to spoil my meat. So that word likeness is a Latin word, similitude, where we get the word similar, right? And he said it's a supernatural gift given by God to man when he created him. And he said the meaning of that, the man has original righteousness. By nature, right, he's a friend of God. He's perfect in self-determination before God. And that this attribute could be and indeed was lost when man fell. So the question we're asking as we look at all these perspectives is that what are the implications for our learning, for our life, and for the way we live today? That's the bottom line, right? So they look at the image, which is Latin word imago, right? On the other hand, is that which belongs to man by nature, his free will, the rational nature, the dominion over all other, animals. He said this attribute could not be lost in the fall. This means that the fall destroyed what was originally supernatural in man, but left his nature and the image of God in him wounded and his will free. He cannot do whatever. You see, in those days we were taught that the unbeliever is just a wild animal. Right? It's a wild animal. He can just be led in any kind of, if you watch, wildlife, you are either being eaten or you eat another. Right? It's dog eat dog. What are the implications of all this teaching for our learning, for our life, and living today? There are other two perspectives from these scholars, Martin Luther and John Calvin. Right? Luther said there is really no distinction between the image and the likeness. His own opinion is that the fall affected the image. It destroyed man's free will. He was no longer in any kind of control. All of us are just expressing opinions that there's difference between image and likeness. This one was lost at the fall. This wasn't lost at the fall. He said, John said, no man has seen God at any time to begin to think of what happened to man. He said, only Jesus, right, can give us a true picture of God. The Son who is in the very bosom of the Father, he has declared him. So Jesus was both man and God at the same time. And the moment you hear that, that's who you are. Right? That's who you are. You are both man and God. And I have my own version of John 1:18. The world they've never seen Jesus. All those who share his life are called to declare him. This is PDV. This is PD version, right? Just as Jesus revealed God to his generation, you are also called to reveal God to your generation. You don't know what that means when Sheung said weeks ago that he has seen a believer before and is his dad. That's what they should say about you in your neighborhood, in your office. So the image and the likeness are found in Jesus, and by implication found in all those who claim, right, should be found in all those who claim to share his life. If it's the one living in you, whatever can't happen to Jesus shouldn't happen to you. Like we said on Sunday, that quote by that my friend who said, if Jesus preached this kind of gospel that everybody preach around, he wouldn't be crucified. He will not be crucified. He will have been a celebrity, maybe man of the year, for like 30 years running, or 3 years, consistently winning the award. He will be the face of Time magazine. Right? Or the most influential man on earth. By the way, that's the way the coach of Liverpool described him. He says the most phenomenal human being that's ever lived. You know, a very cool guy. Something we couldn't do, he came to do it for us. Yeah. I said, this guy has had the gospel. He said, isn't that cool? He just, you know, we are supposed to die, and the man came and died for all of us so that we won't die. Isn't that cool? That's so cool. And I said, very cool. I mean, because if I die, I won't rise again. I don't have the wherewithal. We found unity, you know, in Jesus. So the mystery is humans are natural and spiritual. They are both man and God. Right? And that's why they even call human. They're both earth, right, and spirit. So the writer of Hebrews said, God at various times in various ways spoke in time past to the fathers by the prophets, had in these last days spoken to us by his Son, whom he had appointed heir of all things, through whom he also made the world. He now described him this way. He said, this Son is the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person. In this sentence is man described. Humans are supposed to be the brightness of God's glory and the express image of God's person. Let's break it down. In the Amplified, it said, He's the sole expression of the glory of God, the light being, the outraying or radiance of the divine. He is the perfect imprint, the very image of God's nature. The day you understand it, you will. We appropriately place compliments or lack of it. If you wear something good and nobody compliments you all day, learn to be like the lizard. Compliment yourself, right? Right? The Message says this son perfectly mirrors God and is stamped with God's nature. Everything you are reading here, that's you. How dare you think of yourself any less? How dare you think of yourself any more? When you think of yourself less, you have reduced yourself. That definition is inspired by possessions or lack of it, or the things of the world. 3 words are used there. Number 1 is radiance. Is that Greek term reflection. Jesus is a radiation. What does that mean? To radiate something. To reflect. Right? What does it mean to reflect? Huh? What does it mean to give back light? Speak in English. You send it back. Absolutely. John describes, he said, this sun is the true light which gives light to every man coming into the world. Right? He's the source of every human being. Then Jesus spoke to them again, saying, I am the light of the world. So I asked the question, when is Jesus coming back? And what will make him come? Right? It's in Ephesians 5:26. Because we always say that we don't know when Jesus is coming. Very true. We don't know the date, right? And the time, and the hour, or whatever. And he said, as he is, right? So are we. So Paul used that same marriage. He said, Jesus will walk on the church so that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of water by the word. That's what we're doing right now. So that he might present the church to himself.